Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be continuing working on our fidget spinner series and we're going to hopefully make the last two parts of the spinner today. So we're going to be making the top and bottom plates, that is these bits that I've done in red. Don't worry, if you don't like this design, you can make your own design of these once the video is over. Okay, the first thing I want you to do is jump onto the first part we made with the three arms, the bit that rotates and spins round. Um, and what you're going to do then is you're going to click on the top plane or whatever plane it is you have drawn this on. So you're going to look down at your shape, you're going to click the plane that's showing, mine's the top, and I'm going to click this button up here in the toolbar, which is the plane tool. This is going to allow me to make a new surface that is elevated, or a new canvas that is elevated above the one that I've got. Now, it really doesn't matter how high this is. I'm just going to make it 50 for a nice round number and to give myself a fair bit of clearance. And then I'm going to click on the new plane I've made, press N, and I'm ready to start sketching. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to draw a couple of elements, whether that's going to be a large section of this. Let's consider it a circle for the minute. It might not be a circle in the end. One section of this circle. It could be a big one, it could be a small one, but then we're going to repeat that with a circular pattern tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my line tool, and somewhere up here, I'm going to draw it in the center. I'm going to draw one straight line. I'm going to draw one 3-point arc. And I'm just being very arbitrary at the minute. And then I'm just going to do a little wiggle of my spline and bring that in like that. And I want the end of this design to actually come a bit further in than these might, so a bit further towards the center. Okay, once you've got a design, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around and fillet it. So I'll get my sketch fillet tool. I'm going to change the fillet to one, or I'll change it to two. No, I'm not. And I'm quite happy with that. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to click this grid of four boxes in the top toolbar next to my mirror tool. This is the linear pattern tool. In the drop down menu, I'm going to go down to circular pattern, and we did do this to make the three evenly spaced segments for the initial spinner. I'm just going to select everything, and it's going to, by default, repeat that 3 times. That's fine for what I want, but I want it covered. So I want to make sure, you can see I've got these three. What I did forget to say is, and I think we've discussed this in another video if you've been keeping up, annoyingly, splines don't actually mirror. So, sorry, not mirror, circular pattern. So please don't do a spline for this. Use the arc tool or the tangent arc tool. Sorry, that's my bad. Right, okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to redo that sketch. I'm going to do a more basic design, making sure I'm sketching on plane one. Press Enter to orient myself to it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my arc tool. And I'm just going to draw an arc there and an arc there. I'm going to fillet that by, yeah, decent. Just going to eyeball that. Okay. What I'm going to do, or what I should be able to do now is do my circular pattern. So I click circular pattern, click and drag around everything I've got. There we go. Now, the important thing is that these lines overlap. And if we zoom in, we can see that they don't quite overlap each other. That either means I'm going to have to make the segment, so this highlighted bit that I made, make that a bit broader, a bit wider, or what it says 3 times, let's double click on that, change that to 4. Now I can see they do overlap, and I've got this um, sort of not square pattern, sort of this turbine or propeller pattern, which I think looks quite cool. So I'm going to keep that. If you want to go to, for example, 6, if you want to keep it a multiple of 3, since we've got 3 arms, you can go for it, and everything comes a bit a bit close together still. If you want to be really crazy, go to 20, see what that looks like. When you go higher, we're going to trim out all the bits inside the shape. So you're not actually going to get such an interesting shape as it looks. I'm going to stick with 4 because I think 4 look quite good. And I'm just going to click away. When I'm happy with it, I've got my cursor's got the mouse with the green button on it. I'm just going to click away. And I've got what I think is quite a cool shape. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to trim these bits on the inside. This is what we were talking about a minute ago. So I'm going to click my scissors, and I can either go around and individually click on each segment, click, click, that's overhanging, or I can do my click and drag. So I'm just holding my left mouse button and I get this path. And as I carefully move my way through all the bits I want to get rid of, it's going to delete them. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to add another fillet in here, 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 and here, just to make it look round, just to round off those edges. And then I'm going to extrude it by 3. In fact, you can extrude it, I reckon, anywhere between 3 and 5. I'm going to do 3. In fact, let's go 4. Okay, so now I've got something that is going to act as my cover. Now, there's 3 features we want to add to this. Well, a minimum of 3 features, really. The first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to fillet the edges. Um, so if I just click on one of these here, I reckon it's going to fill it all the way around the top and the bottom, which is kind of what I want. Um, so I'm going to set the fillet to 1. And that's the first thing we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to make a impression here, a crater for your fingers to grip onto. I'm going to do that with something called uh, the revolve cut. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the side view of my image. So for me, that might be the front, it might be the right. It really doesn't matter as long as I'm looking at my part from the side. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to start a sketch on it, and I'm going to draw something that looks oh, like this. But I'm going to show you how to do that properly. And the idea of this is that we're going to put this into our design so it's overlapping our design, and then we're going to revolve it so this shape gets cut out of the top of our part. I might not have explained that very well. Just watch along and you'll see exactly what I mean. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line down the middle about halfway in my shape. And I'm going to draw that all the way up here. I'm now going to set a dimension between the bottom point there and the base of my shape. And I'm going to set that to 2. So I want this to be exactly halfway in the middle. And then I'm going to draw a line off it. I might have added one too many steps here. There might be shortcuts for this, but if you just follow on for now, I'm going to draw a line off that. Now I know it's 2 mil away from the base. I'm going to trim off this line. And once I've trimmed this line, the vertical line I've drawn, what that allows me to do is it allows me to go into my arc tool and go down to tangent arc. I think we have done this in the very first video we did. And what this does is if I click on the end of my line in the middle of my part, it will bring out a curve, an arc that is exactly flat at its base, which is what I want. And I'm going to draw that out somewhere over here. Now, you don't want to do it too far. You don't want to do it too wide. I reckon you want the blue line to intersect your part between a third and halfway out. So I'm going to drop it there. There's no hard or fast measurement for this, but I'm going to drop it there. Maybe a bit further, maybe there. And what I'm going to do now is I need to re-put this line in again. So I'm going to start at the bottom point, go up, join it up. It doesn't matter what this looks like, just as long you'll see it goes grey. You've got a closed shape that encompasses this region here. I'm just going to trim off that other construction line that we made. And now I've got something that looks like that. And now it's a closed shape. What you can do, you can click your revolve tool. It's going to automatically highlight that sketch. I'm going to click where it says revolve axis. I'm going to click on the vertical line that I've drawn in the middle of my shape. And all I'm going to do is click remove there. So I've got revolve, solid in the top toolbar. And in the second toolbar, you've got new, add, remove. If I click remove there, you'll see it cuts that hole for me. Right, okay, so that's the second thing that we need to do to this part. I'm just going to rotate now, and I'm going to click on the underside of this part, and then click N, and it should rotate, so I'm looking at the base. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the project tool, or I could just draw a circle that's 16 mil, but I'm going to do a sketch on this top, on the bottom side of this grey shape. I'm going to click project. I'm going to click on this circle here. So this is the outside circle of my, let's just check it is the outside before we actually go ahead and do it. If I click here, it will show me the diameter there. It's not actually the outside I want, it's the inside. So I'm going to click project, click the inside of this circle. As you can see, that's put that shape onto the part I'm currently working on. And I'm going to extrude that by 1. And if I put a 1 mil chamfer on this base edge, the bit, not the end, not the exposed face, but the join of the part that we've just made, if I put a 1 mil chamfer on there, what that is going to do, that's going to mean that this fits right into this recess, this angle on here. And this is going to be the bit that fits in. The final thing we're going to need to do is we're going to draw the part that connects, that actually goes through. So this is going to be the clip that connects this part that we've done to the part we're about to mirror that encapsulates the main body, the blue spinning element. So what I'm going to do is go into sketch. I'm going to make a sketch on this new face I've got. So I'm going to click on in the middle of this circle on this grey plane, grey face, click N, sketch. All I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one circle that's 4 mil. The reason it's 4 mil is because that's the gap I've left myself in the bearing cage that we did. So 4 mil. I'm going to do another circle inside it that is 2.5 mil. If you're thinking of 3D printing this is where tolerances might get a little bit tight. What you might want to do is go down to 3.8, just so you've got that little bit of clearance, because what you don't want to do is when you're pressing these together, it's too tight that you can't actually put the thing together. And all I'm going to do then is extrude that by 5 mil. Okay, so we've got one of our parts. How you? All you're going to do now is you're going to mirror this part. So mirror part, mirror plane, top plane. And we're a bit short on time now, so in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can sort that out. So instead of it being 2 female parts, we make the male part that will fit into this clip or this press fitting. Okay, guys, thank you for that. If you want to follow along for the video, for the next video, please join us. If you liked the video and you found it helpful, please drop a like and a comment and subscribe if you want more stuff. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.